If you're thinking about a van build and playing video games is important to you, I'm going to show you guys what you need to run a modern console. This is the most modern thing I have. Xbox 360. I don't have the new one, and I don't have a PlayStation number 5, but I have this. Should run the same watts as a modern console, and I have a 17-inch flat screen on the wall of my van. 14.4 volts, full charge, 0 watts. Turn on the surge protector, then the watt should go up to like 1 watt. Hear the inverter fan go on. What's up with my watt reader? There it is. Should read 1 watt here in a second. There you go. Now turn on the 360. There you go. 70 watts. Now let's turn on the TV. TV on. And now we're running, should be 100, there it is. 100 watts, 103 watts. So what I'm gonna do is play for an hour, see what happens with the voltage. 13.2 volts right now, 13.1. So I'm always told not to run these lower than 12 volts. I run it under 12 all the time. I run these down all the way to 11. Once it's lower than 11, power inverters start beeping at you. So let's see what happens in 1 hour. So the time is 1:41. I'll check back in an hour. 3:01, so a little more than an hour later. So 12.3 volts, 12.2, 12.3. 108 watts. So I'm going to turn everything off, and then you'll see the voltage spike back up. So turn off the 360. There you go. Now we're down to 18 watts. That's all the TV runs. So volts went to 12.4. Now let's turn off the TV. There you go, 5 watts. Now turn off the surge protector, and then we're down to 0. So now the volts are up to 12.6. Let's let this charge up. So I'm gonna check back in 1 hour, about 4 o'clock, see where the volts are at. Now my solar is recharging. So I'm told not to let these go under 12. I let it go under 12 all the time. So in an hour, I was nearly at 12, but you could run it down to 11. But as you can see, this is an entry-level solar battery. The more amp hours, watt hours, the better. This is only 400 watt hours. So if you want to play a modern console, you're going to drain your battery fairly quick. So if you want to run something like this, something modern, helicopter flying by, went ahead and closed the door. But yeah, if you want to run a modern console and play for an extended amount of time, yeah, you're gonna need way more capacity. I rarely play video games in my van, and when I do, I play retro games, but sometimes I'll play an hour of modern, if you want to call this modern. But there you go, batteries charging up. Now it's up to 12.7. So I'm running a 100 watt solar panel. So I'm getting about 50 at a time. I'm not getting the full 100 at all times. Like if I ran an accessory less than 50 watts, my battery won't discharge at all. It'll pretty much stay the same. But when you're running a lot of watts, as you can see, there's a big voltage drop, and then your battery starts discharging a lot. So in my opinion, I think 1000 watt hours is optimal. I'm only running 400. Actually, I got another battery. I have 2 batteries right now, so I'm gonna run solar out in the back. So that combined, I'll have about 800 watt hours. So 1000's good. 402, 1 hour later. 13.1 volts. I have to go to work right now, so I will continue this video tomorrow And by the time it's tomorrow, this will be 14.4 again. Here's my two retro mini consoles, Neo Geo and TurboGrafx 16. I like these a lot because a bunch of the games are built in, and low power draw, USB into the TV. TV has a USB port like all modern TVs. This TV is actually 10 years old and it's still working. This was in my last van build and it's still working, and it's in a hot van. You know how hot it gets in a vehicle. Pretty impressive. Full charge, 14.3. It's running 2 watts right now off of the surge protector. Let's go ahead and turn on the TV. And the TV runs low watts. There you go. TV is only 18 watts. The surge protector reads 2 watts, 1 to 2 watts. So about 18 to 19 watts. So let's turn on the Neo Geo. Alright, that's on. And then it's only gonna run a couple extra watts, another 2 watts. And we're at 13.6 volts. Now the little arrows blinking, the solar panel into the battery, that indicates we're getting a charge. Let me go ahead and plug this into the see, you could have a controller. You could watch it on the little TV, but you could also plug it into the HDMI. So that's really cool. You could actually play like this, but we want to play it off the TV. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So you could either play it on TV, or you could play it off the screen with the little see, play it on the screen, and you could use, you know, you could use it as a mini arcade. This is really cool. You could use it as a mini arcade. Playing it as an arcade is a novelty. It's tiny, see, big as a hand. So I have it attached to the TV, and you could play with the controller. So there you go. So the Xbox 360 and the TV was 100 plus watts. This is only 20 watts. So here we go. 13.5 volts, 13.6, 20 watts right there. It fluctuates. Now it's at 16 for a brief moment, but we'll just stick to 20-ish watts. So the time, we'll do this for an hour. The time is 11:31. Let's check back and check out the volts in 1 hour. In 1 hour, the modern-ish console got this down to about 12.4. Let's see how low this goes down, running only 20 watts. 1 hour later, $13.8 volts. Let's turn everything off. Turn off the TV. Turn off the mini. And turn off the surge protector. And look at this. Instantly 14.4 volts. So the reason that happened is because I'm running a 100 watt solar panel. Where I'm parked right now, I get about 50. 50 come in, not the whole 100. From my experience with solar panels, 50 to 75% of the advertised is what you're drawing in. So since I was only running 20 watts, my battery was just a buffer, so my solar easily kept up with what I was running. So there you go, there's a little solar basics. So here's the thing. there's different combinations you could run. You could run one 100-watt solar panel and 4 batteries if you want. It's going to take a while to charge all of them, but once they're all charged up and running, they're all hooked up together, you got all kinds of reserve power. Or you could run 1 battery and have like 6 solar panels on your van of your roof if you could fit 6. But see, you would be drawing in, let's say you're drawing in half of that, 600. So 6 panels is 600 watts. Let's say you're taking in 300. So when I was running the 360 and the TV, I was running about 100 watts. So if you have 300 watts worth coming in, this will happen. But all I have is a single 100 and I'm drawing in about 50. Or you could run 6 panels, 6 batteries, and have all kinds of power. It's all on what your budget, you know, all what you could afford. You know, my van is like lifted. I'm more concerned about the lift kit and, you know, my couch, my fridge there. So I could run more power. The more the better. And I actually got 2 of these. There's another one in here, another one in here. So I'm gonna run 2 100-watt panels and 2 separate batteries. So I'm going to run a battery back there, and I have one here. So it's all on your budget and how much power you want. If you want to run a modern gaming console, you're going to need a lot more than 1 battery and 1 100-watt panel. But for me, one 100-watt panel and a single battery has been good enough. But I'm upgrading to a little more just so I could run my fridge off separate power, so I'm not sharing power with all my other accessories. I always do this demo for people new to my channel, checking out my van. The main reason why I run electricity in my van is for my space coolers. I prefer sleeping in my van versus sleeping in a hotel or motel room, so I need to stay cool in my van. I need to stay comfortable in my van. So this always comes with me, and this is like backup if I want to cross breeze in my van. But here we go, mighty cool demo. Goes with me everywhere. 59 degrees, the electric fan, 73. So electric fan's always gonna blow around the air inside the van. So whatever the temperature is inside of the van, the fan's just gonna blow that around. So this runs a lot cooler, 20 degrees cooler than what the fan is outputting. So that's why this is my go-to. So there you go. And this is all running 65 watts right now. So if I cut this off, it says 12.9. If I cut this off, the battery will charge fairly quick. See, as soon as I turned it off, now it's charging up again, already 13.2. So I went from 12.9 to 13.2, 13.3. See, I'm parked in the sun is right above my solar panel right now. So my solar panel is just static on my roof, flat on my roof. That's why you see some people sometimes are running, they don't attach their solar panel to the roof and they have them on like hinges so they could get the optimal sunlight into their panel. Mine's just static on the roof, but it's charging fast. The sun is like right above it right now. Back to 14.4. Hit 14.4 a few moments later. So there's a little solar demo for you guys wanting to play video games in your van.